dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hello, welcome to another Getting Projects Done with me, Chris. Today, I'm continuing on in the spirit of getting stuff off of my desk and, just getting projects done, right? That's the name of the show. Usually I've been kind of just halfway or starting projects or whatever. Last episode, I worked on, getting a corpse grinder done and also did a little bit of sculpting and, big whoop, right? But today, I'm going to work on Eldrad. Eldrad's been sitting on my desk since that big box came out with Eldrad in it. I can't remember what that box was. I don't know. You guys remember which box that was? I don't remember which box that was. But anywho, yeah, I've had Eldrad for that long. And he is like primarily almost done. And in fact, his base is almost done. Like he's almost ready to go. I just, haven't finished him, and I'm not sure why I haven't gotten around to getting him done, considering that he's kind of a main character in my Eldar army. I have painted him. Let's jump over cameras here. I have painted him in a similar fashion to what he would be painted if he were a Samhan Farseer. Just so that he mixes in with my army. So if I ever feel like using the model as a regular old Farseer, I can. But otherwise, yeah, like as you can see, like he's damn near complete. Damn near. And I'm not sure what the holdup is, but today I'm going to work on him. And let's see if I can actually get him done today. One disappointing thing for anybody who, I don't know if I filmed it or not, but the top of his staff and his sword, those were Molotow chrome that were applied. And I don't think I sealed these at all. And so they've been sitting on my desk, and they used to be much more chrome. They have seemed to have almost oxidized, and the luster, it just looks more like a metallic, bright metallic paint on there. It still has a nice shine to it, but it doesn't have that same mirror chrome look that it once had. And so anybody who's playing around with any kind of chrome paints or anything like that, yeah, a bit of warning, because you got to seal that. Otherwise, you're going to lose that chrome look after a while, as it would seem. So, yeah, boo earns. But yeah, let's get to work on this guy. And his base is almost done. It's just really simple. Slapped, bone on it. I like to pick the writing out in a slightly lighter bone color. I think this really just needs a dry brush, then some texturing, and this thing will be pretty much done. But yeah, it's not terribly complex. It's not like I'm, preparing this guy for a competition or anything like that. I am just simply, where the heck's my paint right? Here it is. Just simply, a good tabletop. That's the goal. So, it's not like we're entering it into Golden Demon or anything like that. I had to check, make sure my mic is even on. Here I am and talking away. Don't even know if my mic is on. Alright, so first things first, let's jump into white. Let's grab some white scar, because it's nice and thin. Give this a quick little shake on my shaker, on the tooth chipper. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, I picked up a paint shaker, and it works well for Citadel paints. Despite Citadel being a heavy-bodied paint, shakes it up. I can hear it sloshing around in here. I usually just give it another little finishing shake here, just to put some of the paint up onto the lid, because that's usually where I draw the paint from. So I'm going to take a little bit of white scar. I'm also going to add a little bit of medium, just to thin it down a bit. And we are just going to finish off some of these highlights on his robes, his helmet, and his little tabard. And it looks like I got something on his tabard. There's like little splatters. I wonder if I hit it with the frickin' Blood for the Blood God when I was doing that last week. I got some blood splatters on Eldrad's got some blood splatters on him. Oops. Alright. Let's grab a little bit of white. Slappy-voo. A little bit of medium. Just a drop. Give that little mix-a-voo. Oh, I forgot to get tunes ready again. Son of a beehive. Now, you may or may not notice that he's been pretty heavily airbrushed. And so it has a very smooth look to it. I don't really care if I continue on with that vibe through the rest of the models, so I may change up brush strokes. In fact, I may make the cloth look a little different from the rest of the cloth, just to break up the surface a bit. Yeah. All I'm doing is I'm applying a thin layer here, just on the cloth, just to kind of re-establish some of that highlight. That's really about it. Really more of the effort will go into on his helmet and probably his little sashy thing on his cloak. Yeah. See if we can't tone down that blood splatter a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. That's all right. Do these little sashes. Now, I had already started doing something here, apparently. I started drawing a rune or something on here. I don't know what I was doing. I'm not sure why I did that, considering that he's not done yet. Because usually that kind of detail work, I usually save till the end. A little bit better. See if we can just do a little bit of an edge here. So, and we'll do the bottom too. Yeah. Just a quick little edge like that. Yeah, I must have got blood for the blood god on them. Because that's blood I'm looking at. Blood for the blood god. I'm not too worried about the blood splatters, apparently, that are on here. Yeah. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit brighter. Pick up the rest of the helmet. Too much water. Grabbing some water to thin the color out a little bit more. Yeah, you got there's stuff all over the place. There's blood all over this guy. He's got blood splatters everywhere. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about it though. Again, I'm just mainly concentrating on this guy, you know, to a decent tabletop. I'm not too concerned with, you know, overall appearances. Looks like I have to clean the face up a bit too. Got some color where I don't really want it. There we go. A little better. Just a little bit. Grab a little bit more white so I can finish the other side of the helmet. Oh, excuse me. Need a bit of medium. Medium. Yeah, that's good. That is good. meat. I should put an edge on this inside arc. Oh, that's too much. Just come off these points here. God dang it. Yeah. That's a little better. Let's do it to this side. Just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little part in the helmet here. Go. Clean these up a bit. Just a bit. This is a really kind of deep shadow around the rune on his head. So it's not something I'm terribly excited about. Build the strength up through the center of it just to kind of give you a bit of a zenithal type of lighting scheme. Yeah, it looks a little better now, eh? Just a little bit. Do the other side of the helmet. Let's grab a little bit of paint. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Clean up some of the stuff going on here. It almost looks like the guy who was painting this was like in a hurry or something. Can't imagine why. chin. So next, we'll take a little bit of Abaddon Black, some Abaddon, and we are just going to fix up the face and clean up a couple points. Not sure what. I don't know. What are you thinking? Do you think his hands should be white? Or should they stay black? I'm almost thinking that his hands should be white. No? Yes, no? Yes, no, maybe so. Alright, Abaddon Black. I'm just going to use a little bit. I'm just going to clean up that face. So just grab a tiny little amount. Slap it onto my palette. And I'm not going to use any mediums, but I am going to use a little bit of water. Okay, a lot of water. And then we're going to thin the color down. Since black is already in the area, I'm using this more like it's an ink. Really easy flowing, and and we're just going to work on that face just a little bit. Just clean up some of these edges here. I think that's supposed to be bone. Really, the part I really wanted to clean up is down by his chin here. Right along there. Yeah, that's good right there. Fix this up. Yeah. I guess those little things in his beard thingy, I guess those could be black as well, right? Yeah, screw it. Let's do them black. Screw it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sure, I don't need any more water. Yeah, it's already plenty thin. Camera? Nope. That. Looks all right black? I don't know. Now I'm rethinking it. I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I will leave it as such. Alright, and then really quickly, I'm just going to clean up the hands. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to leave the hands black or if we're going to do them something else. What? I don't know. Is that like a bracelet on his hand or on his arm? I don't know. It's kind of a bracelet-y thing. Kind of a bracelet. I wonder if we should incorporate more golds or something onto it. Just go full regal type of look. I'm going to pick out some of those stones right now in this black while I have it here. I could just easily come in with some, say, contrast black Templar or something, but I have the black out. I might as well use it. This big thing on his temple, should that be a gemstone or should it be some like just left in that white? Don't know. When is it too many gemstones? That is the question. When is it too many gemstones? You know what? I could probably just do the whole class. The whole detail itself. I have to clean it up after. Maybe I'll do these little straps on his arm more like leather, like a light leather strap, rather than gold, because I already got quite a bit of gold going on the weapons, and I don't want to distract from those. I do want to hit these two little stones on his helmet, though. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Just going to clear it up a little bit. Get the underside. Like I said, I could use a contrast paint just to make my life a little bit easier, but I already had the Black Templar, or the Abaddon Black, thinned out enough that it would achieve this similar look anyway, so I'm just blackening out the spaces where the gemstones are, just so that when I come in with whatever color I decide to paint them, either being like a silver and just paint them like really fast, or I can put a color in there. And usually when doing gemstones, I usually start from black anyway and just build up to a bright color, and so it's usually just the process in which I usually go through to do that. Alright, let's get those spaces done on the other side. Yeah, I still don't know whether or not on the side of his helmet there, right by his eye, if that should be painted like a gemstone or not. Don't know. And also there's little things in behind his helmet that kind of looks like there's lines that run from him. If those should be painted like gemstones, or if those should be painted like, I don't know, like is it part of his ghost helm kind of thing? I don't know. It's all made up stuff anyway, right? So does it really matter? Not really. Just gonna use a little bit more Abaddon Black. thinning it down with some water. There we go. Let's start with this one here. Ah, crap. Let's see if we can pull that off. There we go. Usually, if you do make a boo-boo like that, if you're fast, you can quickly wipe your brush off and then pull that excess away. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but there's still just a little bit of paint in behind there. That's fine, I can cover that up. It was just a bigger portion of the boo-boo that I was more concerned with. Gemstones. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still undecided whether or not that's a big gemstone on the side of his helmet or not. I'm going to be debating that for a while. Really quickly, though, I'm going to pick these little things out in behind his helmet here. Just those little things on the back there. Okay. There's a little will knot there. Little will knot on my brush. I'm just looking at the way the helmet now looks. I think I want to come in there with some Ulthran gray. Just balance out some points here. It's a little abrupt here, and it's a little abrupt like in here. I think I want it just a little deeper down there. Well, yeah, I'm gonna grab some Ulthran gray. There it is. Slap-a-voo onto the mixer. Oh, yeah. It's pretty quiet in here today. Alright, so I'm going to take my Ulthran Grey, slap it onto my palette, and yeah, some Ulthran Grey, and I'm probably going to thin it down a good deal, actually, and just kind of glaze a little bit of between layers, between the white and the deeper gray. I'm sure I initially had more Ulthran Grey, because I'm pretty sure that's what I would have started as a base, although I might have went with Celestra Grey. But yeah, I just want some more in-between tones. And for this, actually, I probably could just as easily have gone with Apothecary White from the contrast. There we go. Just to get a little bit more in between. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but I'm going to push more brightness up this way, build the color down, and also want to get a little bit more in that in-between area there. Just like so. wait for that layer to dry. Actually, I guess we can work on the other side while we're waiting for that one. Oh yeah, I gotta clean that up too. Starting to even out a little bit more now, eh? Just a little bit. Alright, I'll stop there a sec. Let that dry. Oh, I got no more coffee. I need to send a message. We're gonna Also hit the sash part of his robe here as well. Build a little bit more transition. Yeah, this is usually the way I work. Is just kind of jump here and there between colors and areas and wherever I feel it necessary. All right, another layer. That. Just to smooth that transition out a bit. It was looking really abrupt before. Yeah. That kind of thing will stand out, especially since so much of the model was already airbrushed and everything, so yeah. Thank you, honey.
Yep.
Okay. Saladome, hey Tark, what's happening? Beautiful, like a stork landing on a golden lake full of baby swallows. I don't know what that means, Tark. I don't know what that means. That sounds weird. Are you weird? Okay, I think that's enough monkeying around with the helmet for the moment. Although there is this little spot here in the on his little sash in his belly. And it doesn't look like I've even hit it with any colors. So we're gonna hit it with some colors. Shocking, I know. Yeah, somehow that spot was neglected. Tarek, I'm complimenting your model, man. Oh, well, thank you. I assumed it was a compliment because you started off saying beautiful. But I wasn't sure about the whole stork landing on a golden lake full of baby swallows. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to process it, and I still do not understand. And of course, my first thought is he messing with me? Is he looking for payback after all the times that I've messed with him? Is he looking for payback? I don't know. He might be. I always assume the worst. Wow, the distrust. After all we've been through. I know, after all we've been through. All of it. Everything. Just, the blood, the sweat, the tears. I know. Alrighty. I'm inclined to leave the Wraithbone stuff that tone of bone. Tone of bone? See, I got like this dark brown leather going on some of the stuff. And it kind of looks like the staff. And I know I want the staff and the sword hilt or handle to be more gold, so more light. So they're not going to be that dark. Also, the little thing in the triangle of his staff. I'm thinking of hitting that with some color. I'm thinking like a light blue. Maybe even a light blue on the blade. Are we going to do it? Solid. So the metallic parts will be made more gold on the weapon. Well, on the handle. Like the handle and the staff are gold. Those are metallics. Pretty sure it's metallics. Yeah, it's metallics. And yeah, but the blade and the top of the staff, those were Molotow chrome. But this project has sat on my desk for a long while, and the chrome has lost a lot of its chrominess. I don't know if it oxidized or what, but I usually seal the chromes before, doing other stuff. And I never sealed this guy before because I had done his cloak and, all this other stuff. I had done, I'm pretty sure I did it with my airbrush. Yeah, that's the airbrush. And, I just never sealed it for whatever reason. And now those chromy parts don't look as shiny. They just look like a bright metallic, when in fact they were chrome. Like you could see your reflection in the chrominess. Can you still kind of tell? Yeah, not really. But I'm not too concerned about it now because, well, at the time I was playing with Molotow chrome and mirror chrome, and I was like, well, whatever. Let's grab. I'll roll you over. Let's grab. Prussian blue. Oh wait, oh jeez. Oh, that's burnt umber. Where is my blue? You're my boy, blue. Prussian blue hue. I think that's the color we want. That's the color. So I'm going to use some Liquitex Prussian blue. I'm going to thin this out just with a little bit of Flow Aid. And I'm just going to hit that staff, the inside thing of the staff. I'm just going to hit that inside of it. And I need to... Do I need to? Yeah, I need to shake this up. So you're thinking of going over them with a blue. Is there a reason why blue from a color theory perspective? From a color theory perspective, no. What I'm looking like, the blue I'm going to lay down is not that strong a blue, and when this is really thinned out, this looks more like cyan. Cyan being, if you're familiar with, like, say, Gilliman blue, how thin that is, but it's still a very intense kind of blue. The only reason I'm going with blue is because it'll play nicely with the white. The white is actually kind of like a blue-gray going on. And it should sit fine. Also, because of the nature of the metallics, because under bright light, the metallic looks almost white. And so it all plays together, right? And so just the blue, just to you know, just kind of continue on. Because again, like I said, like, the staff and the sword handle are not going to remain that dark. And I think I'm going to brighten up the leather as well. I'm going to come up a few steps on the leather. Because the darkest elements I want are the black of his sleeves, his feet, and his black robes. And then, of course, the red as well. The red actually is quite dark on his cloak. And of course, you know, from like this angle, the red and blue with a little bit of white will play kind of nicely. And I'm not talking about like laying like a lot of blue down. It's only a little bit. You'll see what I mean in a moment. I'm gonna open this if I can, because I don't shake my paints anymore because I have that stupid paint shaker. I'm losing strength in my arms. The last little bit of exercise I used to get. I'm going to use some Liquitex Floaid. I just keep a bottle of it in here, but yeah. Just a drop will do. We will add a bit of water, because these inks from Liquitex are water-based. So we can easily do this. Yeah, a little bit more water. Yeah. I'm not looking for a heavy amount. Very, very subtle amount. Alright. So the amount I have on, like, it thinned out to is like very, very minuscule. All I'm looking to do is hit the broader areas surrounding this little face detail. So like here, here. Like I said, it's not going to be that intense. It's just to kind of separate the face out, as well as keep the silver around the face. Yeah, so something like that. It's not a lot. Let's hit the other side. Try not to lay too much down at once. I want it to be nice and saturated, but I don't want it to be too heavy. Although I do like the way the light plays on the surface of it and kind of just fills it in, makes it glow. Because when the light is reflecting off of it, it looks really neat. Yeah, you guys can barely see that blue tint in there, but it's there. I mean, I could lay another layer down, but I don't really think it's necessary. To the eye, the blue is mostly apparent. Maybe I'll hit it with another layer in a moment. I think for giggle's sake, let's hit the sword. Let's have fun. Yeah, noodle arms. When you're painting, do you think about the application of colors on the model before actually painting? How do you determine where to apply what colors on the model? Or is it trial and error thing on a test model before going for the real thing? Um, it's mostly experience, right? Applying paint to models, and I mean, like, Eldar. There's certain themes involved. You know what I mean? Like the helmet color. Like if you pick a bright helmet color, then the rest of the body will be dark, and if it's a dark or if it's a light body, then the helmet will be dark, and you know what I mean. Like there's certain schemes at play, especially with wargaming miniatures. If this was an art piece that had no color scheme and it was just like a sculpture somebody had done, and it was it was just being for fun or whatever, then I would probably think about what I was doing beforehand. I don't know if I would do a like a sketch, in a sense, not an actual sketch, but like like rough out the idea first. I don't know if I'd do anything like that. Let's throw a slight blue on there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's very, very minimal. It's kind of fun. I don't know if we'll do it in a typical sense of, doing swords. There we go. I am going to lay more blue down. But as far as like color scheme, stuff like that, like if you're not getting any painting done, you're thinking too much on it. You got to stop living in your head and just start applying color down to a surface, and trying out things and experiment. You just got to go for it sometimes, and you might be surprised what you find when you do just kind of start playing and have a bit of fun, and try something out, try a different technique or try a different color scheme. But yeah, quit overthinking things. You're not alone in that regard, Tark. I know there's a lot of monkeys that live in their heads like that about their color schemes and their painting, and doing this and that, and being really unsure of what they want to accomplish as far as painting their miniature. And sometimes it feels like I don't know, just you just gotta stop living in your head and just go for it. Will it be the greatest thing since sliced bread? Who can say? But something, and failing at it is better than doing nothing, if that makes sense. I'm going to start about halfway up this blade here. Maybe a little further. Catch this edge. I'm going to do this. I'm on this side of the blade. I'm just going to go for a very, very, very simple non-metallic metal, true metallic effect here. Something along those lines. It's probably pretty hard to see, but it's a very subtle tint of blue in the blade. It's very, very subtle. So subtle, some might even argue it's not even there. But it's there, trust me. Or don't trust me. I don't care. So all I'm doing is I'm following one of the facets of the blade. I'm allowing the color to exit where I want. Oh, you guys couldn't even see that. I'm just pushing it off one side of the blade. So you can see this side here, this side of the blade is like nothing going on, where you can see a little bit of blue cast coming back. Yeah. That's the ink. The ink. Oh yeah, it's the ink. I'll catch this side here. Yeah. So with the staff, you can see there's a lot more blue cast coming back, but you can still see how the metallics are shining through. When it was still chrome, this would have looked really kick-ass. It still looks really cool, but it'd have been more kick-ass if the chrome was still existent. Salad, thanks for the answer. I was painting a Dark Angels chaplain once, and taking the result just ended up too messy. I liked how there's a balance of color on your Eldar model. It's pleasing to the eye. Yeah, well, that's kind of the point, right? And you always want to kind of use darker colors along with brighter colors. But that's just the shorthand of it. It's it helps to have an understanding of how art works, to do to get really good at miniature painting. It's not required. You can learn these things over time, but the key thing is you have to put in the time. Yeah, the chaplain was a good experience to know what not to do and what to do. That's good advice for life in general. Yeah. Sometimes I have bits of wisdom, and then sometimes it's just dick and fart jokes. All right, we're going to do another glaze on the blade here. So all I'm doing is this side of the blade up here in a deeper color, leaving that side blank, and then pushing a darker blue on this side of the blade. That's all I'm doing. It's a very simple non-metallic metal look. That's it. I'm not going for, really dramatic or anything. When you're laying glazes down like that, though, be sure not to overplay the color, because you will leave little tide marks and things like that. Near the handle, I am going to deepen it up. And of course, if I ever get around to it, laying the gold down, this blue will play nicely next to that gold. Get the other side here. Yeah. Get the other side of these little ribby things. Ribbies. I don't know what they are. They're ribby things. As far as I know, they're just ribby things. Dark. Sometimes it's dick and fart jokes. Yeah, it's just dick and fart jokes. Sometimes it's just dick and fart jokes. Sometimes you just got to cut back and, let them rip with some dick and fart jokes. It can't be all highbrow all the time. Well, I could, but I mean, you know me, man. I'm not about, being serious all the time. Now, glazing like this, and, you know, just moving the color around in this fashion, it is very easy when you are using an ink, which I'm currently using for anybody who wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it's very easy to glaze up like this. You just have to be patient and, you know, slowly build up to the effect. Don't push it all at once. Just like that. Yeah, we're having a bit of fun here. Just a bit of fun. Because fun is fun. There's like this little detail on the forehead of the face here on his staff. I kind of want to hit that with a deeper blue. Just because. Yeah, sometimes, Tark, I'm just making this up as I go. For no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I do things because I ask myself, would it look cool? And if I can answer myself, why, yeah, that would look cool, then I do it. Do I know what's cool? No, not at all. Oftentimes, I just go by what looks cool to me. Because ultimately, these are my models, and I'll paint them up however the hell I want. And yeah, I kind of like that. Just a little hard blue right on the forehead bit. That's fun. He also has like a bit of a gemstone in his forehead. I don't know if I'll paint it like a gemstone, but there is a gemstone there. Alright, back to the sword. So you can see the sword now is taking on much more different tones, right, than what it was looking like before. So it's interesting. I mean, like, all it is, you know, the sword is divided in half, right? Because the fuller, right? That center line is the fuller, I guess. Anyway, that side, we've built our transition up to blues coming up on this side. And on this side of the sword, we're building down towards the handle, building to darker tones. This is a really, really fast, simple way of doing the non-metallic metal effect. You know what I mean? Like when you have the colors on the blade and, you know, it has the reflections, or the sense of reflections, I should say. Those aren't real reflections. Because oftentimes, you know, it's a shorthand technique for, you know, creating the impression of a metallic effect. Just like that. So, see how we're building up to that deeper transition there? I'm going to put a little bit here. As I get closer to the handle, I'm going to build quite a bit of intensity down here. Right in there is where a bit more intensity is going. It's getting intense. It's intense. Oh man, it's intense. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. A bit more color. Sorry. There. Oops. There we go. There. Build into that intensity. Now, when I was initially starting this model, was that my goal when I started doing it? Not really. I think I had other plans for this model, but, you know, things change, times change, you know, ideas change. So you just roll with it. Just roll with it. There we go. That is it. It's as easy as that. That's it. That's as far as I think I'm going to push that. I don't really want, you know, too much, too intense a blue on there. I think that's pretty much it. So you can see the slight bluing on his blade and his staff. Tark, why is it for non-metallic metals that the contrast between dark and light on either side creates the metallic effect? Do metals really look like that in real life? Well, it all depends. I mean, well, here's an example right here. Look at the fuller on this paintbrush. What do you see? You see very intense lights and darks, right? With little spots of light and reflection, right? And so depending upon the position of how it looks, right? And also dependent upon this light sourcing. Now, if we were to do an actual study of, you know, on a miniature, creating reflective armor, we would need to account for the ambient lighting and the environment that the model would occupy, whether we made it up or we use something realistic, right? And yeah, so the shorthand is always, you know, the shorthand is always just making that reflective, having that impression of a reflective quality. It builds to darkness up above, down below, and then also we throw that bright edge highlight on the surface, and that's it. That's the non-metallic metal effect. It's really, really simple. Doing a gemstone, which gives the impression of translucency, you build to the dark, you start dark, you build to brightness, or reverse, whichever way you want to work, and then you put that little spot highlight up on top to represent that curvature, and that it's a smooth glass kind of surface or polished surface, and it gives you that impression. But it's a similar kind of vibe. And with those basic understanding of those theories, you can create many different effects. Understanding how light interacts on a surface, and then recreating that on a model, you know, to emulate something. Yeah, you can totally do that. Just trying to think what's next. Yeah, see, so like I didn't push that blue very, very far, but you see how, you know, the model's feeling a little bit more cohesive. There's not enough, the brighter gold is going to bring up a lot of bits, as well as I need to treat the arms as well. And I think the wraithbone bits, I'm going to go a little bit brighter. I think. Because why not? But yeah, when this model, what I first did the sword and the headpiece, Yeah, those were really reflective. Like you could see yourself in the blade of the sword. And yeah. But I can't remember the last time. Like whenever this model came out in that big box set, that's when I got this guy. So yeah, how long ago that was? That was a while ago. So yeah, I don't even know when that was. Yeah, reflective paint like that. Yeah, this the paint I initially used on these on the sword and the headpiece. It's called Molotow Liquid Chrome. It's for markers, like markers, and you can buy the refill. Do I have the bottle here? Is the bottle here? Yeah, the bottle's right here. Yeah. Ooh, I got lots too. Yeah, this is it. Molotow Liquid Chrome. And you can just now look up the price of this. Okay, it's a 30 ml bottle. It's a refill. This is because this is intended to refill the markers, but you can just use this because it's got a dropper type tip. Here, let me see. Yeah, see, it's like a. But see how reflective that is? Holy kermolies! Yeah, that's just the residual paint. So anyway, yeah, you can just throw this right into the airbrush and use it like that, right? But the downside is that it takes like 24 hours to cure. I know, right? And, it's good stuff. It's probably $12. No, it's not $12. Unless, of course, its price was reduced. No. Look up the 30 ml refill bottle liquid chrome. Look that up. Because if it's $12, then I'm going to buy another one. Because that's cheap. Because the other stuff I like to use, and I recommend this stuff if anybody's looking for a chrome metallic. This stuff, Spastics Mirror Chrome. This stuff is airbrush ready. It is an enamel paint. Same with the Molotow. The Molotow is it's, I don't know if it's acrylic or if it's an enamel, but it's not. It's a solvent based paint. It's not water based acrylic. And yeah, I prefer this stuff. And this is what the 2-ounce bottle of Mirror Chrome is airbrush ready, and it cures like in minutes. It dries in minutes, and it gives you a close Mirror Chrome. It's not as smooth as the Molotow, but it's close. And I like that stuff better. And it doesn't cost as much as the Molotow does. The Molotow is expensive. What do I mean by smooth? Like how the Mirror Chrome, it's just smooth. Like it looks like chrome. You ever see like a chrome trailer hitch or chrome on a car? How you can see yourself in it? That's how that looks. The Spastics Mirror Chrome is close, but it's not quite as smooth looking. But two things with the Molotow, I forgot to mention the second thing. The long cure time, you gotta leave it alone for like 24 hours. And the other one is that you have to apply it on the model pretty heavily. Like when I laid it on this model and I did the headpiece, you see those little lines coming out from the face. When I laid the paint on, which I had to do, you couldn't see those lines. That's how much paint I laid down. But after 24 hours, it cured, and it all evaporated to just surface level. And that's how it gets that really rich chrome. So, yeah. It won't look like a mirror as much. It still does. It's just not the. It's, you know what I mean. It's like 4K and 1080p. Both are really great quality standards, but some things you can really see in the 4K kind of thing, right? If that kind of makes sense. Not that it's that much further ahead as far as quality is concerned, but there is a little bit more fidelity in it. I'm not 100% sure if that makes sense, but what was I going to do? What was I going to work on next? I don't even know. Let's work on the Wristband. For that, I'm going to grab some... Let's grab some Screaming Skull and some Pallid Witch Flesh. And let's do some highlights. Yeah, wow, 4K paint. And you know what? I'm sure there's some asshole out there who's trying to convince people of that. The first HD paint. 4K paint. Oh, yeah. Like, even on that paint mixer, even Citadel paints, it sounds like a little waterfall in here. You could just hear this paint just sloshing around inside there. It sounds like liquid. Like, yeah, I really wouldn't have thought that mixer would have worked well for Citadel paints, but it does. So, yeah. Me likey. Alright, we're going to take some Screaming Skull, slap it onto our palette, and... Right. Some Screaming Skull. Screaming. Tark. Dang, does it even work with Citadel white paint? Yeah, it does. I was just using it. I was using it at the beginning of the video. I was mixing up my white. Yeah, because they get really chunky, right? Yeah. No, it does. And, I mean... I usually don't leave it sitting on the mixer too long. I usually want to do maybe about anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. And that's it. I don't know. Just, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of, I just don't want to, burn the motor out, right? I'm sure the motor's fine, but, I mean, that mixer I picked up, it wasn't cheap. All right. So we're going to grab some Screaming Skull. Oh, excuse me. We're going to slap it onto the palette. Just the dampness of the brush to thin the color down. When I say the dampness, I just quickly dunk the brush in the water, then I snap, the excess moisture off, and then that's as much water that's sitting in there. Just that amount to thin the color down. Not a lot. Just a little bit. And, yeah, let's start right here. Let's start here on this little icon here. Oh yeah, already much happier. Happy. Yeah. All right. Oops. Yeah, much better now. That's a lot lighter now. Me likey. Let's do the chest thing. Solid. That was a bit of a terrifying sound back there. Just a spoonful of water will make the paint thin down. Not a spoonful, like an amount right on my brush. Just the residual water that's left in the brush after rinsing it is all I'm talking about. It's all you need. It's It's all in the hips. Let's go. Let's go like this. Yeah. 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 I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm starting to feel it again. I'm starting to feel it. What I'm feeling, I don't know, but I'm feeling it. Yeah. That is all right. Let's get those little thingies under his eyes. Sherman frame here. There we go. I am thinking I probably should have did the eyes before doing these little things here. Now that I'm looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking about where I want to take things next. Damn, there's only a few minutes left of the show, and really not as far as I thought I was going to get today. Oh, man. I don't even know where he's supposed to stand on this. Is there somewhere marked out where his feet go? I mean, am I cracking up? Is there somewhere where his feet are supposed to go on this base? Or does he just stand on it? Oh, I don't see anything. Do you see anything? I don't see anything. I think you just stand them wherever, right? You know, a lot of these bases, right? They all have like the feet where where the feet are supposed to sit. I don't see anything like that on here. Plus 2, I still have this guy to get finished. Haven't even primed him yet. It's a really cool looking model. I like this model. It's fun. It's really cool. He's purdy. Purdy. Tark. I think he just perches on it like the beautiful stork on a golden branch surrounded by baby swallows. Thank you, Tark. Thank you. All right. So, I mean, there's still more I need to go over with the bone. I'm wondering if I should do those little things on his shoulders in bone. You see how there's a little kind of details there? I'm wondering if those should be bone. Maybe. I do like the red break though. I don't know. You were just about to ask about the Pauldron Runes. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know if I want to hit them with bone. I mean, I could just mix bone into the red and highlight, and that way it still feels like a red, but I've brought those details. Oh, screw it. Let's do that. Hell with it. Let's do that. I'm going to take, what color did I use for that? It's a mixture of color. I think it was a red ink I used. All right. Let's go with Evil Sun Scarlet or Mephiston Red. Let's start off with Mephiston Red. Since the tone initially starts off so dark, let's take a little bit of Mephiston Red. Let's chuck it onto our mixer. Yeah. All right, let's take some Mephiston Red. We're going to mix these roughly 5 red or 4 red, one of the two, to 1 Screaming Skull. We probably could go with Sharpie Bone. That's good. Let's go with Sharpie Bone. Just because Sharpie Bone's a little darker. And I gotta mix this too. Oh, we're mixing now. I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but so yeah, I'm gonna take about 5 or 4 parts Mephiston Red. I'm gonna add a little bit of Sharpie Bone into it and use that as a first highlight color, and then I'll add more Sharpie Bone till it gets to probably close to a 50-50 mix, or like almost closer to a 1-to-1 mix highlight, and then I'll do a quick little edge of Screaming Skull, and then I'll probably hit it with a red ink, and just to kind of tie all the color back down again. I know it's a lot of layers just for, you know, a little shoulder piece, right? But sometimes if you want the idea to come forward, so I'm going to take a little bit of Sharpie Bone, slappez-vous onto my palette, and grab a very heavy helping of Mephiston Red. So 1, 2, let's go 3. Mix that together. Oh yeah, it's almost imperceptible at 3-to-1 because the Sharpie Bone is so dark. But I do want to start off with a dark color just because of how dark the shoulder is. So let's go. Let's do this. Am I in frame? I'm in frame. definitely more saturated than what's already there. Which is not a huge issue. But yeah. It's going to get that rune like that. You know what? I probably should do the trim of the shoulder as well. Yeah, that's not bad. See how it's, it's just kind of unified that shoulder now, as opposed to the other shoulder, which, looks a little bit more messier. Yeah. And see, now it looks a little bit more unified, right? Thing is, though, is I'm kind of worried about the saturation, just because the cloak is really not that saturated. Like, see here, I haven't touched the shoulder pads here yet, but you can see how much brighter they are than the cloak, which is fine because I do want that separation, so that they look like different elements, but still unified in their color. But anyway. Alright, let's add some more Ushabti bone to it then. So we're going to grab another little dollop of Ushabti bone. Why do you have to make mixing sound like suggestive or what? Why do I have to do it? Come on. Come on! You know why I have to do it. Alright. This should be technically more of a 2-to-1, but it feels more still like a 2.5 to 1. We are no longer in Mephiston Red territory, at least. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like we're heading off into, I don't even know what color this is, in Citadel. But anyway. What size of brush do you use for the trim and highlights? I'm using a number 1 Artis Opus. It's a number 1. I have like the full set of Artis Opus, and I only ever use the number 1, just because I can do eyeballs with it, and it's a really nice brush. Me likey. Alright, take another little dollop of Shabti bone. should be building closer to a 1-to-1 with this color by adding this next little mix in. And when I'm mixing on my palette, I'm often mixing to eye. I'm just looking for, you know, obvious brightness, but not too far bright. And so oftentimes when I'm mixing, I will mix the color sideways into the previous mixture. So you end up with this kind of color gradient on your palette after a while, so you can see the colors you've used. And if you have a good memory, or if you've been keeping notes, you know, you can always go back and make those color transitions again later on. All right, so now with this one here, now this is starting to take on more of a kind of salmon peach color kind of look. And with this, I'm going to try and be more deliberate, as I want to build this through the tip and the center. Just like so. Yeah, something along those lines. Kind of see we're almost back to where we started. But now we're being very deliberate in how we're applying the color out. That almost looks like where we started, doesn't it? All this work just to get right back to where we were. All right. Just putting more color in the center of the rune itself. You know what? I'm not hating it so far. I'm not hating it. Adding another dollop. So now this should definitely be pushing probably just past 1-to-1 by the time I'm done mixing this. Yeah, see, in the way I'm mixing it, it still looks close. Like, now it looks more like I'm building 1-to-1. Yeah. It's very, very light. So, like that. I'm going to do the shoulder pad first. Yeah, keep hitting that. Do that center. There we go. Got like a little will knot on the end of my brush. I think we're going to go one more layer up from Ushabti bone mixture. And then we're going to do just a little bit of Screaming Skull. This one should go by pretty fast. What time is it? Holy crumoly, I'm almost done. By the time I'm done, these shoulders will be done. So now this should be like more like a 2 Ushabti to 1 Mephiston red. It's a very, very light color. And more of the Ushabti bone is showing through. In fact, you can see more of those yellowy tones. And in fact, you know what color this looks like? It looks more like Cadian flesh tone. That's what this color looks like. So now, little hair. Doggy hair. Don't worry, it's just the dog hair. It's not pubicles or anything. So you see there's some pronunciation there now to those details on his shoulder. Thank God it's not pubicles. This highlight goes by fairly fast because I'm just catching just the leading edge of that triangle detail. And I'm just getting just the centers of those little crossing bars on the shoulder. Just like that. So now I'm thinking that maybe I will... screw it. Let's go one more layer. I'm going to show you guys in a moment here what this palette looks like here in a sec, because all the mixtures we've gone through. This one here is probably close to like 3 Ushabti to 1 Mephiston red. This is going to be a very, very minimal highlight. This is just to catch some of those edges. That's all this is. This isn't as bright. You know how, like I mentioned, that this kind of looked like it was Cadian flesh tone. This isn't as bright as, say, Kislev flesh. This is still, I don't know. I don't even know. Couldn't tell you. It's a nice light tone though. Maybe I'll have to remember this for a skin tone later on at some point. Just like that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Thank God it's not pubicles. Yeah. I am okay with that. now, the big question becomes, do we do one little last Ushabti bone, or do we just do like a little spots of Screaming Skull? Let's do little spots of Screaming Skull. I don't even know why I asked when I was already making up my mind. But, yeah. Oh, we got 1 minute left to the show. So real quick, I'm going to throw a little bit of Screaming Skull down. Just a little bit. It's not much. Throwing it onto my palette. All I'm going to do is I'm going to try and catch those leading edges of the design and just put like a little edge highlight. Just the tiniest of edges. The tiniest. So kind of like that. Okay. In fact, we'll do it just on that edge. Maybe that edge too. And that edge. Yeah. Just to kind of marry the idea that it is bone, but it's transitioning out from the red. Just so it doesn't feel too out of place. There we go. There it is. Arms. That's a little too much, but it's okay. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to do the other side because I kind of like the unevenness of it on the, creates a visual interest. But that's it for the shoulders. I think it fits well. See how it builds to the bone towards the tips of the shoulders? It still feels like it's a unified kind of thing for his Wraithbone armor. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, and it builds to that pale tone like that on the edges. Knocks out a bit of that bright red. Doesn't make it feel too intense. Yeah, I'm mostly happy with that. And I think also when I start to get to the gemstones, I think the gemstones are going to be mostly blues. I might even just go entirely blue gemstones. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. That's as far... Oh, right. I was going to show you guys what my palette looked like. And so here, let's go all the way down. And so that's how that red looks. That's how many transitions I did to build to that red. Let me see if I can change focus here real quick. Focus. Let's just do that. There we go. Yeah, so that's how the palette looks. That was more or less like 3 Mephiston red, and then mixing more Ushabti and a bit more. This is when I said it was closer to a 1-to-1, and then this is more closer to like a 2 or even 3 Ushabti to 1 red. But that tone there, I don't know, it doesn't really show on camera very well, but that tone looks more like Cadian flesh tone to me. Maybe it's a bit darker. Maybe the Cadian flesh tone's between these two colors. I don't know, but yeah. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Hopefully you guys are getting projects of your own done. And, hopefully everybody's staying healthy, staying safe. And I will see you guys in the next one. I will see you guys later. I will. I promise. No, I don't promise, but I will. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Da 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 dun 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 dun. I don't even know what that song was, but anyway.